through pure resistance and not a lick of compromisation. They get it done and they explode, and it changes everything in pop culture.
It's a live show.
We're just not ready.
Doesn't matter that we're ready. It matters that it's 11:30. That's when we go on.
I watched this movie like, I don't know, 3 months ago, and I'm still thinking about it, about the whole
Uh,
reason. And I wonder, how was the first time? How was your first thought and impression when you watched the movie for the first time?
I first saw it. So Jason invited Rachel and I to see it at the editing room in Sony, Sony Picture Studios, and it was fun. We were like hitting each other. We were laughing. We were cheering for all of our co-stars. It was just octane and nerves. And it was the first time I'd seen Rachel since we wrapped, and it was just really good to catch up with her. And it was really exciting.
Because for me, when I watch this movie that happened in real time, it has to be a challenging, not just for you as an actor, because it's already in movement, also for the people who edit the movie. Did you have any different instructions by Jason while shooting the movie because they wanted to create something post-production?
I mean, what was so brilliant about editing while we're making it and being on the same location is that if a scene doesn't work, we reshoot it a week later or 2 weeks later, and we were just in it the whole time. And Jason's such a brilliant filmmaker that he could shoot a sequence and come back to us and go, I know how I can make it better. Are you guys in? We're like, yeah, we're in. Let's go. And everyone would just hit the ground running with this thing.
What was your relationship with the show before you getting into the skin of Lauren? Did you watch regularly the show? Did you
Oh
wear?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Because for me, it's so real when you admire something so much and then you are creating history with the show, with whatever you were watching, it has to be something so real for you as an actor.
So weird. It's so weird, but it's cool. It kind of feels like, I don't know, in a weird way, it kind of feels like, because I totally grew up on it, and I had the best of Will Ferrell's, best of the commercial parodies, best of Chris Farley all on VHS, and I grew up on the National Lampoon films and Chevy Chase, Aykroyd, Belushi. Like I knew all these guys, and I'm such a fan of so many people who came from that show. And it kind of feels like an opportunity to give back in a way of like, I don't know. I felt like I was doing it for the people that I look up to in a way. I felt like I was I need to make it good and put as much of myself and all of my love into it for them because they inspired me to do this.
Because you have portrayed two persons that are visionaries, and they have so much influence in our culture pop and a pop culture. Steven Spielberg and now Lorne Michaels. Is any different mindset that you have as a like any responsibility that you have? Because I never have met Steven Spielberg working. I have never seen Lorne Michaels working. So we kind of have an idea, me as an audience, through you, through your work. Do you feel any responsibility that, I mean, in my mind, Lorne Michaels did that. Everything that you did, everything happened because you did it. And I have
uh,
to, it's like watching a documentary.
I think with Steven, there's a responsibility of getting it right for him because it's his movie and it's his story and it's his family. You have to get the emotionality correct because he remembers everything. And through getting to know Steven, it's like that was just the motivation as personally, like now as the man I know, less so of like the figure that he is, but of like as like a personal responsibility to him. But then with Lauren, the script is God, and you have to service that as much as you can. And thank God for Jason and Gil that everything that happens in Saturday Night really happened just throughout the first 5 years, not in that first 90 minutes. And but I felt the responsibility for not only Lorne, but everyone who knew him. Of like, I wanted to feel like him enough that people who knew him or people who were on the show could kind of believe that, almost experience it as a memory rather than a film. That was kind of the hope. I haven't talked to many people who were on SNL, so I don't know if I did that, but I wanted I would have wanted them to feel like I did it right.
You did it great. All right, you did great. And
Thank you.
do you have any favorite scene? Because for me, it's just everything's crazy. When you get blood, when you go out, when you have to stop,
Ooh,
because your character has to stop. For me, it's super important because among all those craziness that will happen inside, and you were all pumped, there's a moment of human that you say that I need to stop. I'm not sure the moment of
mm.
doubt. And I wonder if you have any favorite moment of your character that you feel that shifted everything.
I have three favorite scenes of the film, and that's the one with Rachel and I in the editing room as we're kind of getting an idea of their relationship. That was my one of my favorite things to shoot. And then I really love um the scene with Corey Michael Smith and J.K. Simmons as Milton Berle and Chevy. That was
Yeah.
they're so good in that. And then I also love Kim Matula's Jane Curtin's monologue, like her commercial bit. But then I also love Nicholas Padani as Billy Crystal as he's showing us his set that never made it to air. He's so charming and fluid, and there's so many favorite moments. But my favorite moment for Lauren is probably with Rachel in that scene, or when Belushi doesn't hit his mark.
Yeah. That you were expecting, and that conversation over the phone with Johnny Carson, that it was tense because something else was happening outside, and your character mind, it was like in some place else. What do you expect the audience learn from Saturday Night Live that they didn't know before after watching the movie?
I mean, personally, I think there's novelty in appreciating the censorship that was on television, especially, you know, back then. I mean, my God, the 70s, like, it's just so funny to think that you were never able to swear on TV. You know, writers did not have as much liberty, and it was just stuck in this time capsule from like the 40s onward, and people weren't really able to be, they didn't have a lot of say. It was very driven by the networks and, you know, old white men in suits, and they didn't want to change. And you have this entire generation that went to Woodstock and made Easy Rider, and their culture, their experience isn't shown back at them on TV, and they just, through pure resistance and not a lick of compromisation, they get it done and they explode, and it changes everything in pop culture. It changes everything we know about comedy. Just from that one TV show, just from Lauren, you know, persisting onward. And I don't think people remember that.
I agree. Thank you so much for your time, Gabriel.
Thank you very
Congratulations,
much.
congratulations. You did
Thanks,
amazing.
Ruben.
It's one of those movies that I never wanted to end. I just had so
Yeah,
much fun, and I'm really thankful for that. Thank you so much, man.
yeah. Thank you, Ruben.